Ever felt like breaking free would break you? Letting go isn't just about losing someone, it's about losing the version of you that needed them. That tightness in your chest, it's your soul unhooking from old chains. But here's the twist. Science says detachment rewires your brain, unlocking a strength you never knew you had. So, what if letting go isn't an ending but the beginning of a freer you? Stay with me. Let's dive into the raw truth behind release. 1. Letting go is soul deep. Ever felt your chest tighten like a fist squeezing your ribs when you finally decide to cut someone loose? Letting go isn't just a wave goodbye, it's a gut-wrenching, soul-deep jolt that shakes you to your bones. Imagine you're standing at your front door, watching a friend's car fade down the street after years of late-night talks, except this time it's final. That hollow thud in your gut isn't just sadness, it's your whole spirit hitting reset, like a slate wiped clean with a trembling hand. Seneca might sit you down and murmur, "To release is to reclaim yourself." It's not losing them, it's losing the you that clung to their chaos, their validation. Here's the twist that'll catch your breath. Days later, rifling through old photos, you find a shot of you laughing, free, unburdened, before they ever showed up. Who was that? Science nods along. Studies say detachment rewires your brain, peeling away a self built on need. Think of Steve Jobs. His ego clung to control, tanking early projects like the Lisa until he let go and soared. You felt it too, staying late to fix their mess, heart racing with hope they'd notice. Want to shift? Today, delete one text thread that drags you back. Feel the air lighten. Ask, who am I without them? Jot it down, let that ache fuel you. I let a draining tie fade once, the quiet stung, but then I slept unbroken for the first time in months. What's your release story? Share it below. How's letting go hit you? Soul anchor, letting go digs deep. It's your soul's reboot. Drop one anchor, reclaim your roots, and watch a truer you rise. So if letting go cracks you open, what's the next wave that rattles your footing? Let's step into the dizzying silence that follows. 2. Disorientation. Signals change. Ever felt like the ground's vanished beneath you, leaving your head spinning and your heart thudding in a void? That's what letting go does. It's not just hard, it's a disorienting freefall that screams, change is coming. Picture yourself sprawled on your couch, staring at a phone that won't buzz anymore. No texts, no fights, just a silence so thick it presses on your chest like a stone. 1 minute you're tangled in their familiar mess. Laughs, tears, the rush of feeling needed. Then nothing. Your stomach churns, a mix of dread and odd relief, like you're lost in your own skin. Marcus Aurelius might light a lantern and say, "In chaos lies your rebirth." It's not just their absence, it's the world tilting, daring you to find your footing. Here's the jolt. You stumble to the kitchen for coffee and spot their old mug, chipped, useless, still sitting there, and suddenly you're sobbing, not for them, but for the you that's slipping away. Science backs it. Studies show this unmooring rewires your brain, a messy signal of growth kicking in. Look at J.K. Rowling. She lost a marriage, felt adrift, then penned Harry Potter in that haze. You've been there, pacing after a fallout, unsure who you are without their voice. Want to lean in? Tonight, sit with that quiet. 5 minutes, no distractions. Feel the swirl, then ask, what's this emptiness teaching me? Write it. I'm scared, but I'm here. I tried it once after a friend walked away, dizzy at first, then a strange calm crept in like a compass resetting. What's your disorientation feel like? Drop it in the comments. How's the silence shifted you? Core truth. That dizzy drop isn't defeat, it's change knocking. Face the spin, sit with it, and you'll find your new north. Okay, so the world's wobbling. What's the next layer that crumbles when you let go? Let's peel back the illusions that held you tight. I'm curious, what's your take on this? Share your own experiences below. I'd love to connect with you all. 3. Illusions crumble. Ever felt a hollow ache, like your heart's been tricked, when you realize someone's hold on you was a mirage? Letting go doesn't just end a tie, it shatters the illusions you've clung to, leaving you raw and reeling. Imagine you're folding laundry, the hum of routine keeping you steady when you pull out their old shirt, faded, soft, and the scent hits you. For months, you'd convinced yourself your peace hinged on their calls, their nods, their chaos, stitching your days together. Now, with that thread gone, your hands tremble, a sickening lurch in your gut as the lie unravels. They weren't your anchor, you'd made them one. Seneca might grip your arm and whisper, "What falls away reveals what stands." It's a brutal collapse, not just of them, but of the story you built, that your worth lived in their eyes. Then, bam, here's the twist. You find a note in the pocket, a casual thanks from them, and it dawns on you they never saw you as you saw them. That stabs deep, a mix of rage and clarity burning through the fog. Science chimes in. Studies say attachment can blind you, dopamine tricking your brain into needing their crumbs. Look at Steve Jobs. Early on, he clung to a perfect image, tanking the Lisa with overconfidence until reality forced him to see straight. You felt it too, staying up, waiting for a text that never came, believing it meant you mattered. Want to break free? Grab that shirt, or whatever's left, and toss it out today. Feel the weight lift as it lands in the bin. Ask, what lie did I tell myself to keep them close? Scribble it. I thought they defined me. I did this once, burned a letter from an ex, watched the smoke curl, and felt my spine straighten for the first time in years. Research shows shedding these props, physical or mental, kickstarts realignment, stripping the Dunning-Kruger haze of self-delusion. That silence after? It's not empty, it's honest, showing you the peace you'd outsourced. Ever built your calm on someone else's shaky ground? Share it in the comments. What illusion crumbled for you? Real reveal. Illusions aren't your glue, they're your cage. Ditch one prop, face the truth, and you'll stand taller than you knew. So, with the fairy tale in ashes, what's stirring in the quiet that's left? Let's dive into the shadows that creep up next. 4. Shadows rise in stillness. Ever sat in silence so thick it hums, only to feel a creeping unease, like something's watching from within? Letting go doesn't just clear space, it drags shadows up from your depths, quiet fears you'd buried under someone else's noise. Imagine you're alone in your kitchen at dusk, the kettle's whistle, long faded, and their absence settles like dust. At first, it's just stillness, a soft relief after the storm of their voice, but then your breath catches, a tight knot blooming in your throat. It's not them you miss, it's the old dread clawing free, fear of being left, of not being enough, now stark against the quiet. Seneca might pour you tea and mutter, "Stillness shows what you've shunned." These aren't loud ghosts, just whispers of times you shrank, nodded, stayed when you should have walked. Then, whack, here's the twist. You flip on the radio for comfort, and their favorite song blares, yanking you back to a night you begged them to stay, voice cracking, pride gone. That memory stings, a flood of shame and shock, like a mirror you can't dodge. Science says it's real. Studies show solitude after loss stirs suppressed patterns, forcing your brain to face what you've dodged. Look at Frida Kahlo. Her art bloomed in lonely stillness, painting pain she'd muffled in love. You've been there, smiling through their jabs, heart sinking, pretending it was fine. Want to meet it head on? Sit tonight, no phone, no hum, Just you and that quiet for 10 minutes. Feel the shadows rise, then ask, what fear's been hiding here? Jot it. I'm scared I'll fade alone. I tried it, sat after a breakup, felt the panic of unwanted surge, then saw I dimmed myself to keep them. Research calls it shadow work. Facing these bits shifts you, not them. What shadows lurk in your stillness? Drop it in the comments. What surfaced when the noise stopped? Deep echo, quiet wakes your shadows. They're your teachers. Face one fear, name it, and you'll grow stronger than the silence. All right, so the stillness is talking. What's the next truth it's digging up? Let's crack into the patterns it's begging you to see. 5. Pain reveals. Patterns. Ever felt a pang so sharp it's like a spotlight, exposing parts of you you'd rather keep dark? Letting go doesn't just hurt, it rips open the pain that shows how you've been living, patterns you've danced to without a clue. Picture yourself slumped at your desk, the clock ticking past midnight, their last message, a cold "take care," still glowing on your screen. Your chest aches, a dull throb, but it's not just their goodbye cutting deep. It's the flood of moments you stayed silent, swallowed your needs, let their moods steer your days. That weight crashes in, regret, raw and bitter, like salt in a fresh wound. Marcus Aurelius might rest a hand on your shoulder and say, pain's your guide, heed it. Then snap, here's the twist. You scroll back and see a text you sent months ago pleading, don't leave me hanging, and it hits. You've been begging since day one, a puppet to their whims. That realization burns, a sick twist in your gut, stripping the blinders off. Science backs it. Studies say post-loss pain unearths habits, like chasing approval, wired deep in your brain. Look at Oprah, abused and dismissed young. She faced that hurt, saw her pattern of pleasing, and built a life beyond it. You felt it, grinning through their cancellations, heart sinking, yet staying put. Want to break it? Next time that ache flares, lean in. Ask, what's this showing me I've ignored? Write it. I let them dim me. I did this, felt the sting after a friend ditched me, saw I'd always chased, then vowed to stop. The shift felt like breathing again. Research calls it pattern recognition. Pain's the teacher if you listen. What's your hurt whispering? Share it in the comments. What pattern did pain light up for you? True mirror. Pain's no enemy, it's your map. Spot one old habit, tweak it, and you'll rewrite the dance you've been stuck in. So, with pain laying it bare, what's the next piece that fights to hold on? Let's peel into the ego's scramble in the wreckage. What about you? Have you had a moment like this in your life? Drop it in the comments. I'm excited to read your experiences. Ego fights the void. Ever felt your mind clawing at nothing, like it's desperate to fill a hole you didn't dig? Letting go doesn't just leave a gap, it sends your ego into a frantic tussle with the void, wrestling to keep you tethered to what's gone. Imagine you're pacing your living room, the echo of their footsteps still bouncing in your head. Even though they've been out of your life for weeks, your pulse races, a restless buzz under your skin as you replay old fights, sweet talks, anything to dodge the emptiness swallowing the space they left. It's not calm, it's a gnawing itch, like your whole self's unraveling without their shape to lean on. Seneca might stand in the corner and warn, the ego clings, it fears the bare you beneath. Then, crack, here's the twist. You grab your phone to scroll, and a random ad pops up for a trip you'd planned together, slamming you with a vision of a you that's vanished, smiling, tethered, safe. That jolt's brutal, a dizzy spin of loss and panic, as your ego scrambles to rebuild that ghost, urging you to text, to chase, to not let go. Science steps in. Studies say your brain's wired to resist this blank slate, dopamine crashing as it hunts for the old rush. Look at Elon Musk. After early failures, his ego fought to cling to control. nearly sinking Tesla till he faced the void and pivoted. You've been there, refreshing their profile, heart thumping, hoping for a sign to stitch you back. Want to wrestle it down? Tonight, ditch the phone, sit with that itch for 10 minutes, feel your ego squirm, then ask, who am I without this crutch? Scribble it. I'm enough, even shaky. I tried it. Post-breakup, I stopped stalking their updates, felt the panic peak, then fade. A quiet me peeked through. Research calls it ego dissolution, the voids where growth kicks in, not comfort. What's your ego gripping? Hit the comments. What's it fighting to keep alive? Raw, core. The ego hates the void. It's your cage rattling. Stare it down, let it flail, and you'll find a self that doesn't need props. Okay, so your ego's kicking. What's the next plunge that shakes you loose? Let's drop into the descent that's waiting below. 7. Descent fuels awareness. Ever felt yourself sinking, like the air's turned to lead and your bones just want to fold? Letting go doesn't lift you up easy. It drags you down into a descent that wakes you up, raw and real. Imagine you're sprawled in bed, daylight seeping through the blinds, but you're stuck. A heaviness pinning your chest, their absence a dull pulse in your skull. It's not just missing them, it's a slow unraveling. Sleep's jagged, food tastes like ash, and your mind drifts, foggy and frail. That drops a quiet terror, like you're tumbling into a well with no bottom, every breath shallow with a strange, aching stillness. Seneca might kneel beside you and murmur, "The fall strips the veil, see what's left." Then, wham, here's the twist. You drag yourself up, shuffle to the mirror, and catch your reflection, eyes sunken but sharp, and it hits. You haven't looked this close in years, not since you started shaping your days around them. That shock ripples, a mix of grief and a weird, fragile clarity, like waking from a long dream. Science backs it. Studies say this plunge after loss fires up your nervous system, forcing awareness of what you've numbed. Look at Maya Angelou. Her descent after betrayal birthed poems that cut to the soul, forged in that heavy quiet. You've been there, days blurring, dodging the ache of their sorry that never came. Want to ride it? Next time you feel that sink, don't run, lie still 5 minutes, let it wash over, ask, what's this showing me I've missed? Write it. I've been hiding from me. I did it. Post-loss, I let the slump hit, felt the weight, and saw I'd muted my own voice for years. It stung, but it sparked. Research calls it somatic awareness, the body's howl when the props fall. What's your descent stirring? Share it in the comments. What's bubbled up in your low? Bare light, the drop's no dead end, it's your wake-up. Sink in, feel it, and you'll spot what's been waiting to breathe. So with the fall cracking you open, what's the next step to climb out whole? Let's rise into the becoming that's calling you now. Itit, becoming trumps. Clinging. Ever felt a quiet hum, like a new pulse, after the storm of holding on finally breaks? Letting go isn't about patching up old wounds. It's about stepping out of the wreckage into a you that's been waiting to bloom. Imagine you're walking through your neighborhood, the air crisp after weeks of fog, their shadow no longer trailing your steps. At first, it's unsteady. Your chest flutters, a mix of loss and something lighter, like a bird testing its wings after a cage snaps open. You're not just free of them, you're free of the old dance, pleasing, chasing, shrinking to fit their frame. Marcus Aurelius might stride beside you and say, clinging binds, becoming unbinds. Then boom, here's the twist. You pass a cafe where you once begged them to stay, and instead of a pang, you feel a jolt of calm. Your hands don't itch to call, your breath stays even, and you realize you've outgrown that pleading shadow. That shift's electric, a surge of pride and wonder, like meeting yourself for the first time. Science backs it. Studies show shedding attachment sparks individuation, a rewiring where you root in your own soil, not theirs. Look at Nelson Mandela. Locked up, he let go of bitterness, became a force, not a victim. You've clung to, staying late for their nod, heart racing, hoping they'd see you. Want to grow into it? Today, say no to one thing you'd have bent for. Skip their text, take that walk instead. Feel the steady rise in your spine. Ask, who am I when I'm not reaching? Write it. I'm enough, right here. I did it, turned down a guilt trip from an old pal, felt the unease fade, and found a quieter me, sipping coffee alone, content. Research says this pivot, choosing you, builds resilience over the Dunning-Kruger trap of needing their echo. What's your becoming look like? Drop it in the comments. How's letting go shaped a new you? True bloom. Clinging's a shadow, becoming's your sun. Step out once, stand tall, and you'll grow into a self that needs no one's weight. Hey everyone, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you ever experienced something similar? Share your story in the comments below. You've walked long roads, but here's what cuts through. Letting go isn't just leaving, it's a soul-deep quake that reshapes you. That disorienting silence after they're gone, it's not loss. It's your chance to stand anew. Illusions of needing them crumbling like dust. Shadows creep up in the stillness, fears you've dodged, but they're guides, not ghosts. Pain's no curse, it lights up patterns you've worn thin, pleasing, waiting, urging you to break them. Your ego will fight, clawing at the void, but that's its last gasp before you rise. The descent's heavy, days blurred, heart sluggish, but it wakes you to what's yours alone. Becoming beats, clinging every time. You're not who you were with them, and that's power. For you, seasoned by years, this isn't fluff, it's truth earned. I let a decades-old tie slip, felt the drop, faced the quiet, and found a me I'd buried under their weight. Quit gripping what's gone, toss that old keepsake, ask, who am I now? You've got the grit to grow past it. Life's too rich for half versions. Step into the real you, unshackled.